Good evening, guys. Firstly, yesterday was a rare day. I didn't come on at all yesterday. I wasn't feeling up to it, if I'm being honest. Had a couple of bad days. So our boiler broke again yesterday, and it meant we couldn't have the heating on, and it coincided with the 2 days that I work now, and I was froze all day, and I still get really bad pain from my lung. So I haven't really done a video on that yet. I should tell the story about pneumonia. The reason I haven't done it is because it's so complex and so many things was going on. Um, but yeah, I mean, I spent all day yesterday just trying to get through the working day, and my lung was absolutely killing me. I work from home, and we had the boiler come on in the morning, so I got up at like 8 o'clock or something, and the boiler was like had a problem, so we had to turn it off. We just had no heating. The guy couldn't come till today, and it's not just me either. My missus broke her arm really badly 2 years ago. In fact, 2 years ago around this time, completely shattered her elbow. So she's like in pain all the time. And my son's as well. He's struggles with the cold. One of them struggles with the heat, the other struggles with the cold. But yesterday it was just like really, really painful. And I was just trying. I had like three jumpers on at one point, but it just wasn't doing any good. And I usually take ibuprofen, but because of the kidney stuff, the doctors have said that I shouldn't take any ibuprofen. So I feel it a lot more not being able to take anti-inflammatories. So it's because the back of my lung never re-expanded after the pneumonia. I had like a pneumonia and pleural effusion 14, 15 months ago. And when it's cold, especially breathing cold air in, and it was like I think it was like -1 overnight. And I just literally couldn't concentrate on work all day. I was trying to concentrate, but when you're just in that sort of pain, you just can't do anything. And I managed to survive. I managed to get through the day yesterday and be somewhat productive. Did a few launches of some Magento updates. But this morning, I mean, luckily the man came today. He came at about 11 o'clock and spent most of the day here. I had to like reroute everything, and the thing that he thought was failing wasn't. So he went and got like a replacement um, thing, and then he realised that it was doing the same thing, and it turned out that it was just like getting frozen somewhere. It's like the condensate pump. But yeah, so well, yesterday I didn't come on. I didn't come on yesterday. I just didn't. I think I come on and just sold some bits and pieces, but I started to feel really, really poorly as well. I think I ended up getting like a stomach bug or something, and I was sick a little bit this morning. I'll spare you the detail. But because of the bulimia and the eating disorder, every time I'm sick, my mind tells me that I've relapsed, and I end up spending the next like week trying to work out whether this means I'm struggling again. Where obviously it isn't. It's just because I got so used to being sick over the years that it just became as routine as waking up, and as routine as breathing. Eat and then get rid. And every time it sort of gives me like PTSD. It's just like I'm scared to be sick. And I ended up sort of being um, just not really concentrating on anything. I mean, that's sort of why I didn't end up coming on. And then today, this morning, when it was, I mean, he said he was going to come at 1 o'clock. We ended up coming earlier, which was a saving grace, really, but he still didn't get the boiler working straight away. He had to like do this extra work and stuff. But we ended up getting the heating on. I think it was about 3 o'clock, something like that. But yeah, that's sort of this. Yesterday was like one of the rare days I didn't come on. I came on. I came on at lunch today to do the dailies. I listed a few things. As you can see, we're up to 4.75 million now. I mean, I did want to do some rank to try and get up to hero. So we've still got 3 days left. I don't know whether I'm going to do any of this tonight. I think I'm just going to maybe do a few challenges. I was going to try and push on and get to hero. I think I will. I think maybe an early night tonight, get some sleep, and hopefully, but whatever this is that's making me feel sick. And I don't know. Sometimes I think it's anxiety. I think that just being in pain all the time. And I think this is what can be quite confusing when you struggle with mental health issues. That you don't. It's easy to confuse. I don't think it is because the missus said she'd been poorly, so I think that it's either something we've both eaten, or I mean, because she's been in pain as well. I don't know. It might be that she's having the same sort of thing. But I always try and have to CBT this stuff, and I love CBT. It really helped me, but at the same time, sometimes I wished I hadn't had it because it makes you analyze everything, and then you end up sort of feeling more stressed. So I don't always get it. That's not what CBT is all about. But I get it wrong sometimes. If you do CBT right, it doesn't do that. So I wouldn't want to put anybody off doing it. It works, but sometimes your approach to it, or my approach anyway to it, it's like when I first had CBT, I sort of got it wrong in terms of what it was doing, and I just thought that it was about finding the best, and that there was always a good answer, and you just had to find and arrive at CBT it to get an answer that you're happy with. And obviously that's not the case, because life isn't like that. It's the opposite, that life will tear you down if you let it. And you've got to hang on a minute. Why is he only? See, I'm going on autopilot here. I don't want to sell an 84 for that. You watch a bit he sells. Yeah, I don't want to sell him for. I don't want to sell him for that cheap. I'd rather get the training. But yeah, so I thought I'd come on today just to talk about it a little bit. Maybe it'd make me feel better talking about it. Lungs still hurting. I think that's the thing that annoys me the most, is that I know it's not gonna get better, and the cold really affects it, and there isn't much I can do about it. I mean, I've got a doctor's appointment coming up, so like a checkup in a couple of weeks, so it'll give me the opportunity to sort of talk to them about it. But I think I've just tried to um, just soldier on again, and that's sort of what got me into trouble with the pneumonia. That I tend to just soldier on, and sometimes you got to listen to your body. But I thought I'd come on here today just to distract me a bit. It's like I miss coming on. I think that's what frustrated me yesterday. Is that, I mean, today was terrible because I couldn't. This morning I just couldn't work. I was trying to sort of do my jobs that I needed to do, and when you've got this sort of constant pain, it's like when my eyes went. It's like with the pneumonia, I had this eye condition called uveitis that came first, and we think that all of these things are kind of linked to the kidney problems, and it was one of those things that you just always notice that if something goes wrong with your eyes, you can't really distract yourself from it other than while you're sleeping. So it's kind of like always there. You can't shut off from it. And I was just about to say it's like tinnitus. So I realised that I was deaf in my right ear recently, and for years I just thought it was like a wax build-up, and I was getting tinnitus, pretty bad tinnitus. And honestly, this was around the time I stopped the bulimia, and I was going to the gym, and a year later I started to get really crazy vertigo, and so I stopped the bulimia in May 21, and I was going to the gym every day, and I started to feel a bit better. I was eating, I was drinking Huel that got me through it. Probably do a video on Huel at some point. I did talk about this stuff before in one of the older videos, but it's probably all got lost now. But I was going to the gym, and then I aggravated a shoulder injury, and I had to stop. So I didn't go for a while, and then I started to get this vertigo, and I thought that it was like went to the doctors, and they said, "Oh, you should." Ironically, is it ironic? They told me to go and have an eye test because they did my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was high, and they seemed more obsessed about the blood pressure than they were with the ear. So I ended up leaving, and I remember thinking, "Hang on, I come here about my ear, and now I've got to go and talk to an optician about my eyes." And nothing had been done, so I booked a private place to go and sort of have my ear checked out. I thought, well, I'll book to have them syringed because I just thought it was earwax, and maybe I was getting vertigo from that. And I went in and paid, I think it was like 30, 40 quid or something. And she said there's no wax in there, your ears are perfectly clean, but there's like fluid behind your eardrum, something. And that, funnily enough, was not long after that was when the missus broke her arm, and obviously everything sort of changed around that point. I think that I missed a couple of appointments that I should have gone to. But yeah, it turned out that I'm deaf. I think what had happened was when I had measles as a kid, I think it affected me, and I was like, I remember like a very young child, and I was like sick for. I think I was off school for a month, and I think I read that measles can cause it. So I'm pretty sure that I've always had low hearing on the right, and I've always struggled like in pubs, like when I used to go out when I was younger, and you'd go, you'd leave the pub and go to the nightclub. You just couldn't talk to anyone. I just always thought that's what everybody that it was like for everybody, that you just couldn't hear people. So I often sort of missed out on a lot of conversations, I guess, that I just nodded and didn't really contribute. And now I realise that it was that I was going deaf in that ear. And there was a time when I worked in my first web job, and I was sat where I used to sit. The account managers used to come up, and they would be on my right hand side. And we had a development meeting, or I was showing some of the developers something. I can't remember what was going on. And there was a lad. He was softly spoken lad anyway, and his name was Rollo. A nice lad, to be honest. And he was talking to me, but he was really quiet. And I was like, oh, I can't hear you. Can you speak up? And the other lads in the office were like, He's speaking really loud. It's you." And I just thought they were being horrible. To be honest, I thought they were just taking the mick. And all these years later, I thought, nah, it was me. I just couldn't hear what he was saying. But anyway, so I've come on today just to sort of try and. I mean, I'm talking about it. I should be just trying to crack on and not think about it and have a look what we've got here and maybe play a bit of this. And the other thing is because I've been sort of in front of the screen a lot the last, like yesterday, I even when I went on lunch because I hadn't worked very much, or I missed about half an hour because I was fiddling with the boiler in the morning, and I was going up trying to see if I could try and fix it if the pipe was froze again. And I ended up working lunch, so I ended up having sort of like a longer period. And then today, because I'm only working 2 days, I was trying to finish off just so the other guys that I work with knew what I'd finished, so I didn't end up coming off until about 5:30, and then I ended up getting frantic because I realised how close Christmas is. I don't know why it didn't click with me that Christmas is only 4 days away, and I've just realised that I've booked 2 days off in December, so I've only got 4 days left. But I didn't realise Christmas Eve falls on a Tuesday and New Year's Eve, so I usually like to have the whole of Christmas off. We're doing something hopefully on Christmas Eve, and I realised that some of the other guys have already booked holidays, so I'm hoping I can still have the days off. But I realised that actually I've only got 4 more days left, and I've actually got 4 days of holiday to book, and I think it's just this year's gone so quick with everything that's gone on, and only working 2 days, and it's amazing just how quick it goes when you it goes quick when you're working, right? So if you enjoy working, it goes quick anyway. So a 5-day week that I was doing up until April, and then I'd been doing 5 day weeks all the way back since I started work. So it was it's like this stuff is. Oh, I've already bought my pack. Damn it. This is what everybody does, right? If they're lucky, 5 days. I know a lot of people end up working a lot more, and with here we go. We've got a bind. End up working a lot more, but if you enjoy doing what you do, which I always did, I love programming and working with Magento is what I'm doing at the moment. E-commerce and server stuff. So I love it when you've got the work to do, right? You've got all the work to do. There's always something to do. So when you run your own business, there's always something that you're busy doing. If you worked 24 hours a day, there would always be something to do. And I think that's one of the dangers of running your own business is sometimes you can end up working too much and you don't realise it because, we talk about Madden in terms of justifying people that spend money on Ultimate Team, and this relationship between time and money, that when you're running a business, this is why I didn't play games. I thought if I'm not working, I should be chilling, I should be relaxing, and I shouldn't be, playing computer games, especially because I'd be a PC gamer and I'd been on the PC all day. My mind used to tell me you can't do this all day. You're already on the computer all day, so I really didn't want to be in front of a screen. It's like when I used to play Warcraft. Um, I'd finish work, and then I'd link up with the missus playing Warcraft to do dailies and stuff. And I really need just to sit down and do nothing for a bit, just to get away from the screen. And but yeah, only working 2 days, and then I've been doing this social stuff, trying to sort of make me feel validated, I guess, and trying to see how to use gaming as a medium to talk about my story, especially with the eating disorder, but also generally with this stuff, mental health. And I don't always, I don't always say to everybody, because you don't want to be a burden to people. So I don't always tell the people around me that I'm struggling. I'm more likely to tell mates than I am family, to be honest. I think that I feel it easier to confide in a friend if my mental health is bad than family, because they're more likely to worry about it. But it's not to say that it isn't there. I think that's the default setting, isn't it, for everybody, that you don't talk about this stuff. That's sort of what the default is, and I guess what I would like to do is to change that up and show people that actually that shouldn't be the default. The default should be telling people you're not okay. It's okay to not be okay. And everybody is like that. Everybody's in the same boat. Unless you're incredibly lucky and you've got, you're privileged. But even then, it's still, even if you are privileged, mental health will catch anybody out. Nobody's immune from it. Everybody's all got the same stuff that they worry about. And a lot of the time it's trivial stuff. I think that's the thing, is a lot of the time it's the stuff that we can't control is what we end up worrying about. And I sort of envy people that are able to think high level and not get caught up. Oh, here we go. I bet it's not a Russian challenge. Let's have a look. I bet this isn't a Russian challenge. Oh, there we go. Right, we're going to get an extra point. I'm sure this will be one of the dailies. But yeah, and I mean, as I've got older as well, like now I'm approaching 50, I've become very aware, especially with the kidney stuff, that it kind of feels like it's a ticking time bomb. And I still haven't wrapped my head around it, that I'm not doing well dietary with the dietary changes for it at all. And I was supposed to have had like an appointment to talk about dietary changes, and they cancelled it, but they didn't. They didn't give me another appointment. So this is sort of the problem with the NHS, that I'm like, oh, they'll contact me again at some point, and then I don't bother doing anything about it. And this is sort of the thing that I learned, really, and I should do, advocate, what they call advocating for yourself, that I should be on them. Look, I'm struggling with this. What are you going to do? And, not take no for an answer. Because that's what I did with the pneumonia, that I just listened to what they said. I even said to them in early July, are you sure this isn't pneumonia? And he just made like a noise, and he just made a noise as if to sort of ignore it, I guess. and just said, take these antibiotics. I took the antibiotics. I was no better on the Monday. I called them back. They said, right, if you still like it, in 2 days' time, let us know. And it was only at that point I think I saw 3 doctors about the antibiotics. When I went back, they said, "Oh no, it sounds like you're getting over it now, and it's the end stage. You'll be all right." And then the week later, I went back, and it wasn't even a doctor. It was an ANP, advanced nurse practitioner, that listened, and he said, something ain't right here. I'm going to get you up to Worcester, which is their closest hospital, to do like a same day diagnosis thing. So he couldn't get me in on the night because it was pretty late. So I went there on the Friday, and they even diagnosed me that day with pneumonia, and they let me go home. And 2 days later, the missus phoned me and I couldn't breathe, and I was just in agony, and ended up going in for 10 days. So now I wished I'd have gone, but I think this is sort of where some of the other stuff overshadows it, because the doctors were like, look, we need to sign you off work. And even though they didn't say it was pneumonia, I mean, it's a bit weird that thinking back to it, that they were trying to sign me off work and said, here's a sick note, you need to rest, not even work, you need to be in bed is what you need to do to get better. And they did actually say to me, look, if you don't listen to us, you'll end up in hospital, so you need to take the time off work, otherwise you're going to end up being off for a lot longer. And it was true. I ended up sort of, it was touch and go whether they were going to put me on a, what do they call it, intubator, intube. And luckily I didn't have to have that, but it was not fun, I can tell you that. And I think it was like 9 days I was in, or something like that. 9 days. And funnily enough, when they let me out, I mean, I hope the missus doesn't watch this video, but I had to get out of there, and I still felt really bad. But I realised halfway through that the nurses were constantly watching you. I didn't realise it until, I mean, I was like pretty much out of it for 4 days. I was delirious. My mum and Mrs. visited me, and they said that I was like talking nonsense. So I was like delirious for the first few days, and then here we go. And yeah, by about, so I was a bit upset because I'd booked a trip to London, and we were going to see Wicked in London at the theatre, and see my son. So this offense able to convert on fourth, and now a fresh set of downs. They were going on the Saturday, and by the Wednesday, they told me pretty much that I was going to be, I wasn't going to be able to go. So they didn't know about it. They said that when I was listening to them, they were saying that I need 7 days of antibiotics. That was IV antibiotics, and that would have took me up to the next Monday. So I already knew that I wouldn't be going, so I was pretty upset about that and trying not to let the family know. And it was just like, well, just go and have a good time, don't worry about me. But I mean, that was pretty difficult. But by that point I realised that the nurses aren't just, doing your obs and helping you helping you to the toilet and all these other things that you can't do when you've got no lungs. And they're actually constantly watching what you do. And I thought, I mean, I was still pretty much in bed and not moving by the fourth or fifth day. This is in my mind. I kind of knew when I think it was like 5 days in the Thursday, and I went to the toilet and I was like, I can't even. It felt like I'd run a marathon just moving 2 steps. And they'd come back and do my sats, and I was like in like the 80s or something ridiculous oxygen saturation. But by the Monday, and the missus and the family was coming back from London on the Monday, and I thought, I've got to get out of here. I can't stay in here anymore. But I was still ill. I was still really poorly. But I was really forcing myself to get the sats up, and I just put an act on. So I tried to look. I went to the toilet and I thought, I'm going to go as fast as I can to get to the toilet, knowing that they're watching me, and then I'll just take my time in the toilet to recover. So I'd get up and sort of walk like I was more agile, and I still wasn't walking quick. And then when I came out, I instead of going back to bed, I would stand up by the desk and talk to them and say, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling really good now." And I mean, I don't know how much of this is just me thinking that it was me that got them to let me go, or whether it was just me feeling better. I don't know, but I know that I'd mentally checked out at that point, and I was like, I've got to get out of here. I think I was talking to the missus on the Sunday, and I was like, I'm going insane in here. I need to get out. But I feel like I had like PTSD from even being in hospital. It was that bad. And talking to some of the nurses about COVID, you know, they were sort of on the verge of tears talking to me about some of this. I mean, I was, you know, listening to how they coped, and what was scary is how little information they had at the start, and I mean, it didn't really help me mentally, to be honest. I think by that point I just thought I'm gonna recover better at home. And I remember the doctor coming in on the Monday morning, and I thought, I've got to make an effort. I've got to tell some jokes. So I did. I remember saying. I remember saying to him that I was a bit upset the other night. I was like. I can't remember what it was now. It was some joke. It was something from Only Fools and Horses, I think it was. Oh yeah, I think it was the nurse said, the doctor said I'd live, but he didn't recommend it, or something like that. But I mean, I shouldn't have, thinking back, really, I probably shouldn't have said something like that, because there was a lot of sick people in that ward, really. And I mean, it was all quiet. You got your curtains round and stuff, and everything's pretty private and that. But yeah, it was probably not trying to be jokey to sort of get out and get discharged. See, nobody heard me now, so now I'm worried about that. See, it's ages ago, but yeah, advocating for yourself is sort of what you need to do. And it's like when I used to go to the doctors, I'd be sort of like, you know, stiff upper lip. A lot of people are like this, like, oh yeah, I'm all right. What's your pain thresholds and all this stuff? And I never used to take anything when I was younger. You know, I even if it was like, even if I had a headache, I'd have to have the worst headache to even take a paracetamol. And you know, I would just grin and bear it. Whereas now it's like I'm literally rattling with stuff. But anyway, yeah, always advocate for yourself. That's what they call it. And you know your own body. I mean, it's like these last 2 days with this lung pain. It was really, 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 really bad. And in the mornings as well when you get up. So the eating hasn't been on all night. So this morning when I woke up and I was literally under the cover.
So first and 10
it's like trying to get the air warm because the air was so cold. And it didn't even drop. I don't think it dropped that cold last night. I think it must have been about 2 degrees. It wasn't minus or anything. But when I woke up and I was like, I just couldn't stop shivering. Got out of bed, just couldn't stop shivering. And then I was having like really crazy stomach cramps as well. And I was like, I just can't get out of bed. I'm gonna hold it in. I probably didn't help, to be honest. But
and they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards.
Yeah, I'm just glad the boiler's fixed, to be honest. And it was my son's birthday recently as well, so we're hopefully going to be doing some. I'd like to do something this weekend, and maybe go to the Christmas market. But this is what I was thinking at the weekend. This is sort of why I worry about like planning to do things, because if I plan to do things, usually something happens, right? So like with the hospital stay, I booked. We hadn't really gone anywhere or done anything, and I thought, right, I'm gonna treat everybody. We haven't done this, and because I've been ill for a while, I would like talk to the kids to say, look, one day I'll be better. I'm gonna do this. I will be better one day. Because I literally wasn't going anywhere. I wouldn't go out the house for like 3 years. It's like when COVID happened, or 4 years. When COVID happened, it didn't really affect me, because that's the way I'd been living for 4 or 5 years. And there was a period of time where I probably went out the house twice in 1 year. And it's ridiculous now thinking back to it, but I'm a bit like it now again. So more recently I haven't. When was the last time I went out? So I went out at the weekend.
But I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking, there's a long way to
go. So I'm lucky now if I go out once a week, and that's sort of what I should be. I should be trying to improve. But yeah, with that, it's happened a few times where I've planned to do something and then something bad's happened, and I kind of feel cursed by it. And I know it's just in my head, but it sort of makes me think, and I'm like, if I do this and then this stuff, something happens, it's like with yesterday as well. There was some multiple things happened yesterday. We had the boiler. My prescription was late, so I hadn't heard about my prescription. My prescription was late. And there was another thing, and I can't remember what it was now. And the missus come back. See, this is another thing since pneumonia. My short-term memory is terrible. The missus come back and said something to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's all right." When you said there was a problem, I thought you were going to say it was this other thing. And she said, "What?" And I said, "I'm not going to tell you, because if I say, it'll happen." And then she started reeling off all the different things, and I'm like, I'm not going to say, because if I say it'll happen. And I've had this stuff a lot where I've said something like this, something's going to happen, and it has. And it's happened so many times that people I know that are aware of it actually say to me, don't say it, because we know You know, just keep it to yourself. And I do now. I literally won't say stuff if I'm worried about like something I'd rather not say. It's like a few weeks, few months ago rather. We had a problem with the car, and it was usually car stuff. I end up getting really overwhelmed and stressed out about it, and this time I was like, we don't need the car. It's in the middle of summer, it's in August. We don't need the car yet. We're not dependent on it. We can do the food shop online and get taxis if we've got to go somewhere. You know, I'm working from home. The kids were. I've got to get a field goal, haven't I? Yeah. The kids. I say the kids. They're adults now, but they didn't need the car because it was the summer holidays. So we ordered the bit. It was the solenoid, I think. So when I was younger, when we used to fix cars, it was HT leads and distributor. So we were. All right, so we've done them. It was this solenoid pack or something. So we bought it, stuck that in, and one of our new neighbours helped us fit it. So he kindly came and helped us fit it, and that was it. The car was back running. Then 3 weeks later from that, or 2 weeks later from that, I had a dental appointment, and Mark, our neighbour, was outside, and he went, "How's the car? Is the car running all right?" And I thought in my head, "Don't ask us, please, for goodness sake, don't ask us." And I didn't really say anything to the missus because we had to go and have the dental appointment. I hate dentists now. I used to be all right with it, but since the pneumonia thing, I don't know what it is. It just, you know, whether it's just the what do they call it, white coat syndrome or whatever it is. But every one I've had since the pneumonia, I've been on edge. And okay, rushing. I've been on edge, and I was already anxious about it. But because he said, "How's the car?" I thought something. I've got a bad feeling now, and we we got so far off the estate, and a kid kicks a ball out in front of the car, and the missus slams the brakes on, and we have to do an emergency stop. And because I'm passenger in the car, I didn't really think much of it. And then we get too closer to the dentist's, and the missus is like pumping the brakes, and I'm like, something wrong. And she's like, oh, I don't know, the brakes feel a bit funny. So we're already at the dentist by this point. Sparks up at the dentist, and I go and have me filling done or whatever it was. Oh, these lines. So I'll go and have me filling done, and I'm in the car thinking something's gone wrong here. And then we get back to the car, and we have a look at the fluid, and sure enough, the fluid's low. So we're like, it's a bit weird the light hasn't come on, but the brake fluid's low. It's pretty low in the reservoir, and we thought, right, well, we'll stop at Halford's on the way and get some hydraulic fluid. So we sort of drove past Halford's on the way. It's literally on the way home, and got the brake fluid, hydraulic fluid.
So there's two ways to look at that.
And
just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes.
Got back home, and Sarah said that the brakes were all right, but I noticed the car was dipping to one side. And what happens with your brakes is it's not just one circuit, I guess is the term. You have like 2 circuits, so that if one side of your brakes has a problem, so I was like, this has got to be something to do with the brake line. So I thought, well, we'll put the stuff in. So I was already thinking, because when she was braking, I could see the front corner of the car going down, like the brakes were only working on one side. And we put the fluid in, and as Sarah's in there, she's pumping the brake. I'm putting more fluid in. She's giving me the thumbs up, saying, yeah, the brakes come back, everything feels good, everything's nice. And then I poured it up to the top, screwed it up, and Sarah said, hang on, I'll just give it another go. I'm going to take it round the block, as we would say. Take it for a little drive round the block. So I'm sort of stood a bit further away, and as she's pumping the brake, the fuel line literally exploded. There was just like a big cloud of hydraulic fluid, and the pedal just completely went to the floor at that point. And we were like, oh yeah, it must have had some sort of a split, I guess, or something in the metal brake line. And it was like, what we think had happened was that the brake line must have actually gone, and we only had half the brakes. So Sarah could stop the car, but we must have just had either when we did the emergency stop or when we stopped. I think the emergency stop must have started it, and then it got worse as we were driving back. And then literally when we got back and put more pressure into it, more brake fluid, that's when it just completely exploded. So I kind of feel that we got away with one. You know, if that had have happened. So it wasn't a kid that ran out, actually, it was a ball. He kicked a ball into the road. But it always makes you think, this stuff, right? That if the brakes had have gone then, what, you know, and it was somebody running out front of the car. So, but yeah, it's like that. Got the neighbour had asked us how the car was. I got the funny feeling, and then 2 minutes later, the car has brake failure, and the missus was. I told the missus must have been thinking the same as me, because I said something like after it happened. I told her about it. I said, as soon as he asked that question, I thought, we're going to have a problem today. And Sarah was like, yeah, you shouldn't think about this stuff because you're bad luck. So at one point, it used to be just me that believed this stuff. I would think something and it would happen. It never works with the lottery, though, I've got to say. You know, I thought I'm going to win the lottery a few times, and it hasn't. All my NFL accumulators. But I don't know. It's like what I talked about before, like these gut feelings that you have, and how you feel it in your bones, you feel it in your water that something is not quite right, and you. My advice to anybody is always, if you've got that gut feeling about somebody or something, that you should always listen to it. In my experience, every time I've had a gut feeling about something and I've ignored it, those are the times that I have regret that I didn't listen to my gut feeling. Whereas if you act on your gut, I think that it's, even if you end up being wrong, I think it's better. What's that? It's better to regret something that you did than to regret something that you didn't. Think that's true. But yeah, this I don't want to call them premonitions, because you know it's I mean, well, I guess that's what it is, isn't it? It's like I kind of go, somebody said that this is gonna, ask how the car is, and then the car breaks. That's happened a few times. It's not just one time that's happened, or very specific things. And I'm very particular about dates as well. Like, A lot of bad stuff has happened on the 31st of March for me. A lot of bad things. You know, a cat died. I got assaulted, and there's a few other things. And you know, this is going back 20 odd years. That I'm always weary on that date, and
And they'll move this one down inside the 40-yard line.
but yeah, I mean,
This is the advantage to having a really effective passing game.
I know it's just coincidence. The reality is, I know it's just coincidence. I don't necessarily believe in, you know, that kind of thing. But when it happens multiple times, right, that's when you sort of start questioning it, I guess.
You get there a little bit too early, you risk pass interference. You get there a little too late, it's a big pass completion. Timing your hand and playing through the ball.
Ooh, what a catch.
That is caught. What a throw. Debo Samuel. Touchdown, Philadelphia.
But yeah, so
This has been back and forth.
come on,
We
Madden
go
today.
at full course.
I thought I'd do a few of these challenges. I failed it. Pass for 50 and 3. Oh, it's one of those. Try and get these dailies done, and
So, first and 10 now.
maybe do a
From the
ranked,
30.
but try and have an early night, I think.
Moss in motion. Now they'll set up to throw. Samuel has it.
And hopefully feel a bit better tomorrow. Definitely feels better now the heating's on. I mean, I was just
Set to go now on first and 10.
in so much pain yesterday. It was incredible, to be honest.
Back to throw.
And I don't think it's going to ever get better either. I think this is the problem. I don't think it's ever going to
That's incomplete.
expand again. So I don't know whether it's scar tissue or what, but
They'll look to throw. Quick throw taken in.
I think now it's been over. Ooh, here we go.
Room to maneuver at the 35.
Right, we've got to get a Russian TD, so do not score.
He has got this one all the way down to the
My nose has
2-yard
been
line.
blocked for like 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on there. It's like I've had a stuffy nose. That's why when I'm talking I sound a bit different, I think. It's been like it for a few weeks now, so I don't know whether it's like sinuses or something. It's like even though I had the bulimia for so long, up until 30, I felt like I was sort of okay. And then I was starting to feel a little bit worse, say, in between 30 and 40. But when I hit 40, the wheels really started to fall off. Looking back, that was when my health really started to bite down. I think the bulimia was really starting to affect me. That when I first had therapy, that's what my therapist said, that it's like an elastic band, that you could do this 10 times, you could do it a million times, but it's like you're stretching this band over and over, and one day it's probably going to snap. And I felt like when I hit 40, the band was starting to snap. And then I think it snapped last year. So with the pneumonia in the eyes, which I think was linked to kidneys, because your kidneys regulate loads of things, right? It's not just it gets rid of your pee. It controls, your adrenal glands are there. It controls hormone release, and all sorts of different things. So, your kidneys do multiple things. Your immune system is one of the things. And when I had the eye condition, they were if you end up having it come back, so you can have uveitis once, and it's just what they call idiopathic, that you get it, and some people just get it, and they you don't really know the reason for it. You just get it, and you get it once, and then you have the treatment, and it goes away. Whereas mine came in the other eye, and I'd already had it in the eye. So at this point, they were like, right, we're going to test you for loads of autoimmune conditions. So one of them was called sarcoidosis. So I had like really crazy inflammatory markers. I think they call it ESR. So some sedimentation rate, and then CRP, which is like some reactive protein or something. These are like, well, they call inflammatory markers. And I had like, I think normal is like less than 3 or something for CRP, and mine was like 160. And they were like, well, you've got it in your eyes, so you get inflammation in your eyes. But it was like they were thinking that there was like inflammation somewhere else. So this was before the pneumonia. I think I had pneumonia. I think the pneumonia was why I had ICRP. But the thought is because your kidneys regulate all this stuff. And sarcoidosis can damage anything, right? It usually attacks your lungs, and that's why. This is why when I was having the hard to breathe stuff, why I think the pneumonia might have been missed, because the tests I was having. This is where I got confused by what tests were for what. Were the same tests, right? So I was having a chest X-ray because I couldn't breathe, but I was also having a chest X-ray to see if I had sarcoidosis and lesions and things on my lungs. So I was having chest X-rays anyway. So it was all ended up being really confusing what tests was for which. But in the end, I ended up having like, I think they took 10 tubes of blood and they tested everything from HIV to rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, all these big, scary sounding things. And I mean, the doctor actually told me he thinks it's sarcoidosis. He was like, I'm 99% sure. Now, the doctor will not. This is why when I asked about pneumonia, the doctor just grunted at me, because I know now that you only get diagnosed with pneumonia when you have a chest X-ray, and chest infections are all pretty much pneumonias, right? That's what I think it is. But it only becomes pneumonia if they see consolidation on your lung. So that's sort of why you wouldn't go yes. You know, it's a chest infection or a what do they call it? A UTI, upper respiratory tract infection. And then if you see consolidation, they go, yes, it's pneumonia. But I was having so many tests for things, and I think in the end I was like, well, it could be anything in my body that's doing this. But I think now it makes sense that the kidneys were probably damaged from the bulimia. I used to have really bad arrhythmias, and I had loads of tests, you know, going back to 2006. I was having 24-hour heart monitors, and it wouldn't do it when I was being tested. And then one day the doctor, I had it in the surgery, and the doctor said that it was a twin heartbeat, what they call a bigemini. And they didn't really give me anything for it, but what I was reading was that those episodes of having that irregular heartbeat, and I used to get a lot when I was flushing, talked about flushing with my bulimia a while ago, and that's one of the things not to do, because it messes up your electrolyte levels and you end up having heart palpitations and all this stuff. And obviously it means your kidneys are probably, all your organs are not getting adequate oxygen because your heart isn't beating right. And it feels like, you know, my heart would sort of go, so this is like a normal heartbeat, right? And my heart would go, then it would stop, then it would do this, and then it it'd race again, and it would just be completely out of rhythm. And I must have had that for 10, 15 years, and every time I talked to the doctors about it, it was like, it was only when I started to get high blood pressure that they started to talk about heart and things as I hit 40. But yeah, that 2023 sucked. It was easily one of the worst, but I would say it was the worst year of my life, 2023.
Now Allen.
But yeah, that's what's annoying about it. I know it's not going to get the lung pain's not going to get better. The kidneys won't ever get better because it's just like a battery. All they can do now is prolong it. And from what I understand, normally your kidneys will just gradually decline as you get older, and we've done the daily. By the time you succumb to it, you probably died of old age or some other thing, right? Whereas now I'm sort of aware that even if you live a perfect, healthy diet and everything's all right, that your kidneys got a finite amount of time to work. And if you end up living a really long life, it'll pack out eventually. It will stop. All of your organs will. So it sort of makes me think that, look, I should just do all the stuff that I want to do now. These next 10 years, do all the stuff that I want to do. Especially travelling. I think travelling is the big one, and But yeah, I mean, at the moment, the last 2 days has just been really tough to get through, to be honest. But yeah, I'll be. I've got a doctor's appointment in 3 weeks' time, I think. So I honestly feel like asking them if I can go on antidepressants. That's what I feel. I said to the missus not long ago that they use antidepressants to treat bulimia. They use fluoxetine or Prozac. And this was literally other than when I had eczema as a child, when I got help in 2007 and they gave me fluoxetine, I felt like a different person. So I think I've always been a bit depressive, like a bit of a sad person, I guess. And I'd just come through another redundancy scares, and some other stuff happened. Got assaulted, and that's sort of what led me to get help for the eating disorder. And see, my short-term memory. What was I going to say? Short-term memory's got me again. Yeah, it's gone. This is what's annoying. Oh yes. So they use fluoxetine to treat bulimia. So one of the first things that they did after my first appointment was prescribed me fluoxetine, and it was the first thing that I'd been prescribed since, as I said, I had eczema as a child, 20 years before. And you have to taper up. So I think I was having like 6 tablets a day. But I had to take 1 a day first of all. Then I was taking 2 a day. Then I was taking 3 a day. And then it went up to 4 and then 6, spaced out. And honestly, I was the happiest I've ever been. Once they kicked in, I was like, this is what normal people feel like. And I remember being quite emotional about it one day. I was like, this is what normal people feel, that I was even sort of I hadn't been to the dentist for years, and I was like, I remember thinking that I hadn't been to a dentist for years, and this is something that normal people do. And I was like, yeah, I've got to do this. I've got to get this done. And, I was being really proactive with everything. And it was literally exactly that. This is how other people are. And then I had a seizure. And they didn't know it was the Prozac first. And I was still on it and everything was fine. And I had a second one. And then eventually they realised that it was that was causing it. So I had to stop, and then that period I was having CBT, so that was helping, and I had like a 6 month where I hadn't been sick, and that was the Prozac. It just worked, and when I come off it because of the seizures, it sort of all come back, and that was it then for the next 19 years, 18 years. Up until I stopped doing it 3 years ago. Right, so what milestones are we near? So I might just do some of these in a solo battle. So we need 4 passing touchdowns. Probably not going to get the fumbles. So we need rushing yards. I mean, what we might do, I think, is all Madden. That all Madden mode going soon. I bet it's already gone. 22 hours. Right, let's do one of these. Should track in this. But yeah, it was frustrating when they said, look, you're going to have seizures. And honestly, I think that the antidepressant worked for me. I feel like I would like to go back on it, but maybe at a lower dose. All right, see how we get on with this. We haven't done an online game now since Sunday. Was it Sunday? The last time we did any? I think we might have done a few Monday, but we didn't do any ranked. So last we did. Yeah, I think it was Monday we did some because we had a few touchdowns, offensive touchdowns. Oh, we've done him. Oh, this is the first kickoff return. Come on. There we go. There we go. Nice. I was like a little bit janky on the I was a little bit janky there on the old joystick. I reckon that helped me. So I was like just making ever so slight movements with it. That's the first kickoff return I've had since the first game I played online. And literally we both had returns. I think it's because we both had scrubs as their backup guys. I have to try that again. That was pretty cool. Right, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go in the Tampa 2. Feel bad for this guy now, to be honest. Better not say that because he'll. There we go. Where's he always comes? There's always some guy comes out of nowhere. Every time. Oh, what times I've been talking about my my health so long. Didn't realise at the time it was need to eat something and then try and get to sleep. I think. Yeah, I'm going to try these little micro movements because it really, really worked then. So I sort of like just touch the pad slightly. Oh, I should have carried on to the outside. Alright, I think I'm going to lean forward a little bit now. Trouble is, this is really killing me, leaning forwards. Oh, I think being cold has just like affected all of my muscles in my back. Because it's pretty sore. I'm going to go and try the corner route here. I think he's going to be open. No, but misses. Thought they were going to bang into each other, right? So the first down to do. Surprised this guy hasn't quit, to be honest. Of course, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. Here's the quit. This will be the quit. Fair play to him. Yeah, I think I need to have a lie down. Oh. cover for the palms. I mean, normally I'm gonna have to sit back. I'll sit back. He likes. Oh, cheeky. He's only just realised the clock's going down. Wonder if he'll do another. AJ Terrell. Surely that's a quit. Surely he's going to quit now. See, even with half a lung. See, I'm in autopilot here. I'm not thinking he could have burnt me then. Said fair play to the guy for not I think he's just trying to get a cheeky score. Right, kill seams. I'm just going to play a bit of dime. Just going to get on. Likes the screenplay. Definitely wants to try and score. Right, this is serious now. Right, let's get back in the nickel. There we go. All that for nothing. He's got to quit now, hasn't he? There we go. Sorry, mate. Right. So we've levelled up. Rare option pack. Right, let's open this, see what we got. Gonna go with the boom or bust. It's a bust. Man, that is a bust. Yeah, you crazy. Right. Right, I'm gonna have a break. I will catch you again soon. Thanks for listening.